Welcome to the Maritime Vision podcast. I'm your host, Paul Wioli. In each episode, we bring you exclusive interviews with maritime professionals, industry experts, and students. Our guests come from different backgrounds, including shipping, yachting, offshore, supply chain, and more. Our goal is to give you all the knowledge you need to succeed in the maritime industry.
Hello everyone, welcome back to a new podcast episode. And today this is the episode number 2 with the Maritime Pilot. So we are joined with Marcel Van Der Horst. So it's a pleasure having you today in this podcast episode. You have more than 18 years of experience as a maritime pilot, so it's quite a must-have.
Long time, yeah, it is. Yes.
So today is we're going to explain the why a maritime pilot is crucial. We're going to explain as a captain why I need to use a maritime pilot. Or maybe you're going to add some more explanation about pilotage, how to pilot a ship. Today we have a whiteboard, so you can show us your skills with drawing. Me. Yes, perhaps can you maybe introduce yourself a little bit more? Why you decided to join this industry?
Well, I never dreamed of being a pilot. It was not. You have some people even here at nautical college who already know they want to become pilot. For me, that was not the case. I really had even some doubts about that job. I worked in dredging. I worked in offshore. There you don't very often use a pilot. The first 3 times you visit the port. So it was not my first line of idea to become a pilot. Some events in my life changed this point of view. I applied, got the job, and actually I'm so happy that I did it. So for me, it was more luck to join the pilots than a well-planned career. Yeah, okay.
Okay, very interesting. So can you maybe explain what is a maritime pilot, or a short definition?
A short definition, a maritime pilot is a person who is helping the bridge team to safely and swiftly move the vessel in and out of the port. And I can help the captain and the crew to show them what is the custom here, how do we work, where do we need to moor, what lines we will use first, and all these extra things which can vary from port to port.
Okay. So I think it's quite important to have a maritime pilot, because you need to explain why we need a maritime pilot. But first, can you maybe explain just to be a maritime pilot, you need to have some experience at sea?
Yeah. You still need your nautical experience. You need to chief mate all ships. So that's a certain level you can reach after 4 or 5 years at sea time. That will give you some more basic background for becoming a pilot. You need to know how the things are going on ships, how ships are being handled, but also how the relationships, the captain, the crew, how it works.
Okay, so actually it's like for engineering, this is super important. For deck people on deck, it's more like to maritime pilot. I mean, the switch during your career, if you want to be more stable as your life, be in the same city, not moving everywhere.
Well, a few now. I think pretty some colleagues chosen to be pilot because you're more regular at home. That's true, and still having this experience of sailing ships, and being part of the most interesting part of the voyage, which is entering a harbor. That is the most, in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, maybe romantic, but after a few days, maybe boring.
Well, then if you like different type of ships, you see different ships, and that's the beauty of the job as well.
Yeah, different type of ships, and even when you start as a pilot, you think when we train the pilots, they think it's all about ship handling and technical skills. But if I ask my older colleagues what they like about their job, it's not so much, it's also the ship handling, but it is for sure the relationship you're building with this captain and crew. Because in a few moments, few minutes, there needs to be mutual trust in each other. And entering Rotterdam, the port I work in, but it's applying to all ports, can be stressful for a captain. There's a lot of things on his mind. And having somebody extra on board helping him out, but also giving him trust that this pilot is able to do so, is the bridge team can unwind a little bit and still needs to join in with navigation, still needs to check the pilot what he's doing. You're there as an extra help.
Okay, fantastic. So you first reply a little bit to the why, but let's go a little bit deeper about the why. I'm a captain, and I'm going to enter the port of Rotterdam. Why I need you?
Yeah, because that is a good question. Because in the good old days, the local fishermen, they were rowing to these sailing ships. They climbed on board. They had a sign that they could be a pilot, and they were showing these ships how to go around the sandbanks. But here in Rotterdam, we don't have sandbanks. It's one big dredged channel. You have your actors on board of your ship. You know exactly where the shallows are. So for that reason, do you still need a pilot? Now, not maybe for the shallows, but there are so many other tasks for the captain when he's entering, for instance, Rotterdam. Let's say that you're entering Rotterdam with 400-meter container vessel, 60 meters wide. You are used to have some space around you. At sea, you have some space around you. When you're entering Rotterdam, when you're sailing towards Rotterdam, it's converging. It's getting smaller and smaller. And other ships are going the same direction as you are. Where are they going to? And you want to be in the middle of the road, but probably the berth you're going to, key berths are we don't have so much, Probably there is a vessel leaving, same size as you are. So you have to meet. Okay, can we meet? Can we meet inside? Some places maybe yes, some places maybe no. I need to know the schedule of this departing vessel. So these are things a captain, if he doesn't have a pilot on board, needs to think about. Other things, for that size of ship, you need tugboats. Tugboats, where am I going to meet them? How am I going to connect to these tugboats? Ship's line, tug line, which position? What are these tugboats able to do? Because not every tugboat is able to do everything. It's depending upon the tug's model. You have different types, tug's types. Yeah. From where are we going to connect the tugboats? Is it centrally? Is it more and more questions? The reporting procedures. We have 9 VGS sectors. How are they called? How should I call them? Procedures for requesting an opening of a bridge, getting alongside, working with the linesman. What channel? What lines first? What are the local rules? Do they have, for instance, here, water coming from Germany? Do we have a lot of water coming from Germany? Because it will change the ebb and the flood tides. So there are so many extra things a captain needs to consider when entering Rotterdam. And mind you, this captain, for him, getting alongside is only the beginning for his working day, because then cargo operations start, maybe inspections will come on board, crew change, blah, blah, blah. This guy was yesterday, he was in Antwerp. Today in Rotterdam, tomorrow needs to go to the Elbe. How to have all this knowledge, all this local knowledge about special laws applying to your ship, how to know it all, how to have all these preparations ready. That's now the added value of a pilot. You step on board, I know all the local laws, I know the tidal the circumstances at present, I know if there's more water or less water coming from Germany. I know my colleague is leaving with this other big ship, and I will call him or use the VTS sector and make an arrangement with him. There and there we want to pass each other. Okay, we will do that. So that's now more the function of a pilot, to take a bit of the extra workload of a captain when he's entering a port. That's the whole reason for taking a pilot.
Okay, so it's even more that only navigational. Actually, navigational, the captain can handle himself with navigational equipment. You know the port of Rotterdam with your GPS, everything, but you are more like contacting stakeholders about, for example, if we need to open a bridge, etc., and the captain cannot know every part of it works because all parts are completely different.
Yeah. Are there special requirements from a terminal for the mooring? We have this knowledge, and navigating a channel, especially if you go to the river, that is not maybe the most difficult part of it. But you're right, you're more or less a spider in my local web, and my most important connection is, of course, the captain. The captain is there on his ship, knowing his ship perfectly well. He needs to manage his crew. So that part he will take care of. And I will take care of all the local parts, the tugboats, the linesmen, the local rules, local procedures. That is my part of the job. We have to cooperate.
Now we know that the role, the responsibilities you have. I mean, are you not responsible for the ship, but what are your responsibilities?
Yeah, what are my responsibilities? Are we talking about responsibility or liability? Normally the way it goes, with agreement of the captain, crew, pretty often, I must say often or almost always, the pilot will take the conning the ship. So that means I will give directions and how much engine power we use. 350, half ahead. Turning into basins, normally a pilot will do. But still, I have an advising role. So the captain is still overruling and ultimately will be responsible. And that's also the important part of it. A captain still and a crew, the officer of the watch, still have to work and check what the pilot is doing. And that part, bridge resource management or maritime resource management, is really important. I need to be checked.
Okay, but the captain still has the responsibility.
Yeah, but and even, if he is disagreeing, at the end of the day, it's his ship. So, I can say, I strongly advise, but that's about it. He's deciding. He's overruling. If I'm not happy because of the safety of the port, then I have to use other channels, but that's then outside of the ship. My authority ends.
Okay. Quite clear. So about the legal on the legal framework, what are the governance? What kind of regulation you need to follow? What are the, the regulatory frameworks? I was looking for this.
Yeah, regulatory frameworks, yeah. Depending a little bit upon what you're aiming at. Of course, we have to follow the rules of the roads. Is that more or less what you're aiming at? And the rules of the port authority? Yeah, okay. Well, yes, we have to follow the rules of the road. Pretty obvious. But the rules of the road, they also give some advantages for larger size ships. So I know when I'm allowed to use those. That gives you some extra weight. Other ships have to wait. We are allowed to proceed. That is a framework. We have tidal restrictions, wind restrictions. It at a certain limit it ends. How much bullet pool do you want to use to keep this container vessel in position? So there is a maximum of wind where you still, when ships will still enter Rotterdam, the larger size ships. Tidal restrictions are there also. If there is too much current for entering a smaller basin, you should not enter. Wait until it's slack time. So that is a framework also we have to follow. We have our own system as well. ISPO. That's there we wrote down our procedures, but also how we are checking it to maintain a certain height, certain quality assurance system. Yeah, ISPO. So that's one of the systems we have to follow as well. Yeah.
Okay. So is it specifically for the maritime pilot profession, or?
Yeah, ISPO is really meant for maritime pilots. Yeah. It's a international. Not all pilot organizations, of course, it's voluntarily. So not all pilot associations are following this, but it's getting more and more.
Okay.
Yeah, the quality system and really written and purpose-based, made for pilots. Yeah.
Okay. What about the coordination with the crew? Are you managing the crew as well, or is only the captain?
No. I'm absolutely not managing the crew. But I will ask the captain, or I will tell him, Captain, the tugboats will be there in 20 minutes. Or even before that, I will ask, Captain, how much notice do you need for the crew, for the tugboats? Well, pretty often it's a standard 20 minutes. So 20 minutes before, I will say it one more time. I expect tugboats in 20 minutes. But organizing the crew, he will do it. The only thing is, if they've given me the con, if I have the conduct of the vessel, I will talk directly to the helmsman, hard to starboard, and the engine half ahead. So that I will do directly, but I have been given permission to do so.
Okay. So you can give instruction for the pilot to pilot the vessel about the gas control, the hand.
Yeah.
That's only the captain.
No, pretty often in most cases it will be the pilot who's having the con and bringing the vessel in. So giving courses or helm orders and slow ahead, half ahead, or like I can point out to the cruise vessels, but people won't see it. But like the cruise vessels which are coming here in Rotterdam, you can also ask for a certain speed. In this leg, I would like to make 8 knots over the ground, and they will adjust it to the 8 knots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, quite interesting. Let's enjoy the fact that you have a whiteboard. Maybe can you explain the port of Rotterdam? If I were to approach the port with a cruise ship, for example, what are the zones I need to decrease the speed, or I need to which part of the port do I need to consider need to be careful because it's quite.
Okay, yeah, but in that case, I'm not going to use the whiteboard because then I should have a whole chart of Rotterdam. But it's, it depends a lot on the vessel you're on. Are we deep drafted, or aren't we deep drafted? Do we make a lot of waves and suction, or not? And especially, in general, when it's getting more narrow, when ships are really moored, you have to reduce your speed. Otherwise, you just pull them, they can break the moorings, and you take them away from the quay. So passing slowly, it depends upon the vessel, it depends upon what is there, what are we going to pass. And particularly here in the city of Rotterdam, the last part from Botlek on, for larger size ships, it will be slower. Yeah. But my colleagues who are working on the real deep drafted vessels, more than 17 meters, they have to do slow as well, because you don't stop a vessel like that very easily. And that's also part of our job. We're all specialized in a certain direction. I'm specialized here for the city of Rotterdam. I am allowed to take the largest size ships here in Rotterdam city to on the river. Other colleagues of me, they're specialized in these real deep drafted vessels. I don't do them. So that means that I'm doing more often the ships towards the city, and they are doing more often the larger drafted vessels. And that's that way you build up your expertise. I'm doing it regular, and that's also pretty important.
Okay, quite interesting. About the speed, because I know from last episode that you need speed to maneuver your ship, because if you don't have any speed,
no speed, no stead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
well, as you agree that it's for them the pressure. Yeah, so it's very hard to find the best combination according to the wind. Also, if you have big crosswind, you need some speed, because if not, your ship will.
She will drift. Yeah. So that's how many square meters of windage area do you have? Current with you, current against. That's one of the things you have to consider. And sailing faster is less of a drift angle. Yeah. So if you move faster, less angle. So sometimes you need to keep a bit of speed. But the next thing is, if you have to take a very sharp turn, then you should not start with a too high speed. Then you might not make it. If you are speeding, if you're really going too fast, also the tugboats, they don't have much influence anymore. So that's also a part of the things you have to think about. So, yeah, it's a combination. And is it a possibility to be first when you have to make this turn and you have to wait like that? Yeah. Is it possible that first to say, of course, this is the way you're going, but you have this drift angle, so you probably are more or less more in this direction. Is it possible to keep the ship really high? Then slow it down, the wave will take you more, and then make the angle. Is that possible? So I'm reducing on the engine in this part. I'm already pretty high in the wind, so I have some allowance. And then I can use pretty much engine power again to turn it into the...
You need to be the closest way to the wind.
Now, yeah, this is just an example. And of course, if you do draft it, then banking will be your next problem. You will get too much suction. So is it possible with this ship? And that's all what a pilot should know. Is it really straight away deep, or am I getting too close now and am I getting banking effect?
You need to all these parts calculation as a rule to calculate the best.
You learn by experience.
Okay.
And of course there are some basic calculations what you want to do. How much force do I need to keep the vessel? How much tug force do I need? But a lot of it is also experience. And for this reason, experience, when you start as a pilot, you start at the maximum ship's length of ships you are allowed to pilot of 100 meters. After a year, 125 meters. Yeah, that's here the law. It will differ from country to country. But, if you're on a 100-meter vessel, if you're a little bit late with the turning, ship will still make it. But it's going to be more and more critical on the larger size ships. But then you've built your experience because you're 4 years, 5 years already a pilot before you're allowed to do larger size ships. Every year, on average, 25 meters more.
Okay. I mean, you do a direct shot ship, which is you don't have boat thruster, you don't have pod. Yeah, I think it's more unique tugboats.
Yeah, not on all ships. I mean, if it's a small size vessel, let's say it's a 120 meter long vessel, tugboats can be expensive for a captain. They might not like the expenses. If it's a chemical tanker, they would say, safety first. We will take 2 tugboats. So, knowing from my expertise and with the wind forecast and everything and the berth we're going to, I would come on board and, even also when you approach a vessel, if you look to the vessel, you think, ooh, a lot of windage area, or, oh, this looks like a beauty. And then I come on board, you're the captain, and you're going to explain to me what you've got. Oh, you have a backer rudder, beautiful pitch propeller, very nice. And then, maybe bow thruster, no bow thruster, but, and with this information, then I will come back with, in this case, captain, with this wind, I would advise the tugboat. And then it's, you're responsible at the end of the day. If you really don't want it, then we don't use the tugboat. I cannot force you use the tugboat. Unless I really think it's unsafe, but then we have to walk the other way again. It's not my authority. And then not having a bow thruster, are we going to use an anchor? Dropping an anchor, are we going to do that? I mean, 10 years and longer ago, it was pretty normal, but it's getting less and less. So ship's crews are also not so familiar with it. So nowadays, what I see happen is that if she doesn't have a bow thruster, the bow thruster is broke down or anything, the captains are willing to take a tug because they're also not familiar anymore, and also the ship's crew is not familiar anymore with, putting an anchor there. 1 shekel, 2 shekels, hold the anchor.
It was this onshore. I already talked about it last episode, but now that you have whiteboard, maybe you can illustrate with onshore the techniques we can use, why it was popular, and why this is so important to know this technique.
Using anchors.
Yeah.
And let's say you have to go alongside more or less in between these bollards. Yeah? And you have to wait, pushing you off. And also, if you have a propeller with giving a stern, that stern would go in that direction. Yeah, then there's not much which is going to help you. So, if you can put an anchor with, let's say, 1 shekel of length, that means that if I'm using the propeller, the ship will not gain speed. Yeah. Because the anchor is still dragging. And with this anchor, I can bring the bow. This is a little bit exaggerated. I can bring the bow as close as I want to give the first line, the spring line. And once I got the spring line, I can bring it into the spring and get it alongside. This stabilizes the vessel. An anchor stabilizes the vessel. We're not gaining much speed, and I still can use the engine on ahead. I don't need to put on a stern. So that's how they did it in the good old days without bow thrusters. It worked perfectly well.
I can see, but if you then you need to remove the anchor. It works. You just remove it when the ship is.
When she's alongside, you can heave her in, or you can leave it and use it for departure maneuver as well. Yeah, you give it some slack. You use still your anchor sign and. Can use it on departure. Because when you're hewing your anchor, the bow will get out again. Yeah.
Okay. Is it popular now to use this technique? Or?
Yeah, not anymore. It used to be, the poor man's bow thruster. The poor man's bow thruster at school. Yeah. And that was even, I'm 18 years pilot, but even before my time, this was pretty regular. And I've done it a few times, and nowadays you hardly do it anymore.
Yeah, even the captain doesn't know to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the crew needs to be confident as well. If we make the approach, and if I say let go port side anchor, she needs to fall at that time, please.
Yeah.
Otherwise we're too late. We missed the key. Then I have to turn it around, do it again. Yeah.
What is the most complicated kind of approach maneuver, like with a ship? The most complicated case scenario?
I think most complicated scenario, I think it's still getting alongside, not really. But I think a sharp turn is still, it's a bit difficult to predict exactly. Is the ship, and let's say we have to enter this basis, which is a real large turn to make. Yeah. What can you do? Yeah, minimum speed. Of course, minimum speed. Maybe a little bit. Then you can start earlier with making the turn. I think this is difficult because still, I know, of course, the radius of this curve. I know with a certain speed, I know the rate of turn we should have. But are we going to get this rate of turn without tugboats? I think that is one of the things which is more difficult for a pilot to judge. And of course, when you're on this river, going to this basin, of course, by that time, I've already observed, do we need much rudder to keep her stable? And if I want a small chase, of course, how much rudder do I need? If I already need 20 degrees to be more or less stable, this is going to be a real difficult one. We might even have to stop the vessel and work it around and let it continue.
Or sometimes in vessel to double rest mode, you need to stop the engine.
Yeah, if this is getting too steep, too sharp of a turn, then you just have to stop the ship, running a stern, stop her, light it up, and go again. I mean, that's not what you really want. If you do this, you have to communicate it also to the VHF. Because this is what other ships might not expect, that you're stopped in the water.
Yeah, or if it's windy, you can drift.
Then you can drift, so then you have to start to get higher, that you have time to compensate. Yeah. So, that's also, I didn't realize it, but when I was captain and going in and out of harbors, I was really thinking about my own ship, what is my own ship able to do? And my own ship can easily make this turn. So, no worries, 7 knots and I will make this turn.
Okay.
Now as a pilot, I think differently because I've seen it happen already many times that maybe a small barge is just about to leave.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's not only the movement of my vessel, but it's also the other vessels. And if I know my colleague is here on a large-sized ship, I might have the tendency to wait a little bit to let him make this turn first. Together, we have to make it efficient. It's not only my ship, it's all the ships which are visiting Rotterdam. This colleague I will meet in my whole career maybe 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So I give him away now. Next time he's giving me away. And I hear on the VHF and on the local radios, I hear him working with the tugs. Maybe I didn't even realize, he's struggling a bit with the wind and the tugs are not responding as he was expecting. Give him some extra space. Let him go first. And that's also part of the job, as pilots working together here at Rotterdam. Yeah, you decide how the different flows go.
Okay. What about backwind? Because if you have backwind, it's more complicated to stop the vessel.
Yeah, pushing. Yeah, the way it's pushing you.
Yeah,
but so is that really difficult now? But you should know that's one of the questions one of the standard questions we do is where is the ship going to when we pull in astern? That's one of the standard questions towards the captain. What agent do you have? It's the pitch, start, stop, gearbox, and going astern about those two. And the captain will tell me, I will go to starboard, I will go to port.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so, you know that on forehand, what you probably is going to do, because the wind is also still an issue.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest factor. What else we have as factor to take into consideration when we want to pilot a ship on the Yellow?
I think here in Rotterdam, one of the things, especially in Europort, where you have the larger size ships, it's other ships. Yeah, it's more the traffic than, I'm sometimes even happy that I do my specialism. I'm back here on the river on the city. There we have a little bit less other ships, larger size other ships. So here it is just my turning into a basin and getting alongside. But for sure, my colleagues on the larger size ships in Europort, for them it's traffic management. Where am I going to meet? Oh, if I meet him over there, then he needs to wait there because otherwise, blah, blah. And you need to call this pilot, you need to call that pilot. Then you have to explain to VTS what the plan is. They should know as well. So, yeah, I think that's one of the biggest challenges when you sail on the larger size ships in Europort. Yeah, and of course, a lot of wind or a lot of current, can make life hard as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Which way then we push and go?
They are very professional here in Rotterdam. And of course, it's a group of captains working here already also for a longer period. They might know, even the pilots, we might recognize each other's voices. And what we also have is sessions together. We sit together with the tugboat captains and discussing if they're happy with the maneuvers and if we fully understand each other about what is possible, what is not possible. And sometimes they will give some feedback, like what it's easy for us to keep this propeller running, to give some pressure on your rudder. while you're asking the tugboat to slow us down.
Oh, yeah.
On one hand, it sounds logical. On the other hand, it's a lot of vibration. It's a lot of fuel. Is it really necessary? So they might come up with the question, we see this happen too often. Can you think about it? But it is what it is for us. A lot of fuel, a lot of vibrations. But coming back to your question, we work together perfectly well. And, one of the things which you need to consider if you need to come alongside, if we connect the tugboat here on the stern, she needs some time to be ready for pushing.
Okay.
And she needs some time to be ready for pulling. Okay. And depends upon the shape of the vessel. Is she very light? Or is she very square? There can be quite some time differences. And the good thing, what you should work together as a team, because they're also a member of the team, is that either I'm asking, how long is it going to take from pushing to pulling? Or if this captain sees it's going to take some time, that he gives me a warning. It takes two to tango, but I need to know this. I need to approach a little bit more careful if I know that he will have quite some delay for being ready to pull.
Okay. So what the pilot can do? They can pause each side of the ship. They can pull.
They can pull. Yeah. And they can help me with the turn when I still have speed.
Okay.
Indirect, not direct, but using their underwater body also to help me getting it out this turn. Or if I'm ready to stop the vessel, then they will just take this position and pulling. Not so clear, eh? Yeah, okay. I'm not the best. Yeah? So, I need to discuss as well beforehand with the tugboat what I'm planning to do. He needs to know to which berth are we going, what is your intended maneuvering. And then he will come back. Also, no, pilot, then maybe better to be on the shoulder for me. Okay, we connect you on the shoulder. So, also they're part of the team. They should know. They should have the briefing, and they have their influence on the process as well. We need them.
You give order to the. You give instruction to the pilot, what they need to do, or the pilot can take the say. Oh.
No. I'm giving instructions to the tugboat. So I'm asking them prepare for pushing. So he will position himself ready for pushing. And then I'm asking 10%, 20%, 50%, whatever for pushing. Prepare for pulling. And then also giving a percentage. Help me to starboard. We call this to starboard. 25%, and he will do so. Yeah, we will continuously. We have one channel which we use as well for the linesman, as for the tugboat per area. So different area, because otherwise too much blah blah blah. Yeah. Yeah. So no, I have contact with the tugboat, and I need to, because if something happens with him, happens that one of the tugboats was on fire. He wanted to let go. Yeah, of course. Still ship something can happen, or one of the engines stops. Yeah, and then he will try to arrange as quickly as possible another tugboat. Probably as more or less the customer, it might hardly bother me, but he will tell me. He needs a direct line with me as well. If something happens with his equipment, he needs to warn me. And I might need to have to stop the engine for him, for safety-wise. No, we have continuously, we are in contact with him.
Who are you contacting in light during your maneuvers?
I'm normally, we're standing close together. So that will be just captain, tugboat, or we first give the spring lines. And I've got one radio with me. And that's for the linesman as well as for the tugboats. Then I'm for the mooring process, maneuvering process, I've got what I want. And I hope that I also need to talk to VTS. Most of the times the bridge will have VTS sets also even on the wings. So I'm using that for telling the area around me we need to stop the vessel and blah, 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 blah.
Okay, good. Yeah, thank you for this podcast episode. If you have something to add, feel free.
No, it's really what, I can talk for hours. No, that's really...
Well, I think we cover quite a lot of topics, but that's true that the navigational, tips is always interesting because, we've seen we can imagine how a safari works. But yes, sometimes it can be a little bit not scary, but for someone who don't have experience, like it's huge a ship. Wow, we have sometimes very complicated to pilot a ship,
Yeah. And that is learning by experience. Slowly, you're getting there. When you're at a length of 200 meters, you get additional training. Even then, you start again with 5 or 6 trips with other pilots. How are they doing? How are they handling really this large size ship? So a lot of simulator training. It's not like, here is the 366 meters. Good luck, guy. No, that cannot be.
Well, okay. Impressive. So thank you, Marcel, for this episode. It was a pleasure.
Yeah,
pleasure. And also, I'm sure we learn a lot of things about your profession, how it works, everything. So thank you.
Thank you for listening and watching this episode. We are looking forward to bring you more insights from maritime professionals, experts, and students. Do not hesitate to follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Your support means a lot to us and helps us to bring you more content.